Well, welcome to the Beef and Barnzy show. Both of us at our home locales, and you do this thing long enough, everything happens once. And for those of you who weren't here for the first 5 seconds, you don't know what that means. So, but in any event, we have a great show today. We have PBA's newest champion, and as usual, I'm Barnzy, and I'm joined by the brains of this operation and the looks, as far as he's concerned, Beef Stew.
Oh no, I'm definitely not the pretty one, Chris. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be Tip Thursday. I need the viewers to give me some technique advice.
All right.
Well. So how do you eat a Starbucks chocolate croissant that's been warmed up without it exploding all over your shirt? Because I'm 2 for 2 this week. Because I take Brady to an appointment, and right by that place, they have a Starbucks, and I've had a bagel and a chocolate croissant. And twice this week, I've worn some of the warm chocolate. So any advice? I'll hang up and listen offline. But yeah, that would be that would be helpful. So on the show today, we've got Sean. We're going to talk about his win, but we're also going to talk a little bit and do some video from Zen Master, which is arriving tomorrow. And somebody says you eat it like a Chipotle burrito. Yeah, but one end of a Chipotle burrito is closed at all times. You don't open it. That's the problem. It's like, where'd you go? And then an X2. We got the X2 coming out tomorrow as well. So I've got some video of that. So I know that Sean has thrown both those balls. So we'll get his take on what we think. Somebody says grab a bib. I mean, we are getting to the point where that might be an option. I tried to eat it in the bag, and I got right to the last bit and I went, mother. So that was so that was my that was my morning. Not great. So we'll let Chris come back in, and he's going to do the introduction, and we'll get Sean on.
Well, and with that, this with no further ado, this bring in the man of the hour, and certainly of last weekend, with now 17 titles, 2 perfect games on TV, including the 2007 Masters. He was the first to win from the PTQ back in 2006. I cannot speak about before 1980. I don't have those stats. He won his first 7 matches on TV, and the only way to keep streaks like that going is to not make a lot of TV shows, which he has refused to fall into that category. He was the 2011-2012 Player of the Year, and probably the closest vote perhaps in the history of the PBA. He was the latest winner at the Chesapeake Open, and 900 Global teammate Sean Rash.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning,
hey, Sean.
Which part of the palace are you coming from there today?
I'm in the basement, the quietest part of the house. I've got a monitor to my right because the baby's sleeping, the youngest, and then the middle of the floor, my middle child's having a snack and hopefully watching cartoons while we do this.
So you're saying we might have an additional guest as we go?
Yeah, we might as well get this going.
So just quickly on the board, Sean. I really need you to win another one, so me and you have more titles than Chris. Seems more likely that you're going to get us to 20, so we can be ahead of Chris. Then we can say, never forget that me and Sean have one more title than Chris.
Yeah, don't worry, he's on my list to pass eventually.
Yeah, I get it. No problem.
I mean, if we're counting seniors at 20 now, because it was a major as well.
It was.
If we can retroactive all of these now, I'm up to about 27. So.
Okay, all right.
If I could get the China Cup to count as one too, I mean, they gave one to the playoffs. I bowled more games with the China Cup, so whatever.
Didn't you win in Australia?
No, I lost to Belmo in Australia.
Oh yeah,
he got one for that. There was only 2 of us there, so it counted.
I'm not sure it's changing his resume a great deal.
Yeah, I don't.
No, he's not worried about those.
Oh, well.
I think his aim is to pass Chris just with majors, though.
Got some work to do.
does. It's with literally everyone else. That's a ridiculous thing to say, and you go, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to go on another run. But so tell us about Chesapeake. Bowled on a short pattern, right?
Yeah, 34 feet wolf, played like 40-something feet, though. A lot of volume. They had 29 or 30 mils, so it really wasn't short. But using a kegel machine, you know that 1, 2, 3, you got some bounce. So, just one of those things. I've had a lot of success in the shorter patterns over the last few years, mostly because of my ball roll and ball speed, and just took advantage of basically what I'm good at.
Yeah, talking about that, you kind of play those patterns fairly differently to most people. You usually use fairly quick response balls, fairly clean balls, which is kind of the opposite of, I would say, what most of the field's trying to do. What did you end up using a lot of this week?
Yeah, normally, like you said, I would use quick balls. I would use normally something pearl, shiny, pin up from the PAP, long distance. I actually used the Honey Badger Intensity to start. Qualifying the first couple days or first couple games, same one I used at the Open Championships, and then went into a dark code with a strong pin, which is you kind of go, oh, okay, interesting. But we had friction, so I just moved a little left and threw it at it, and then just had a fluke idea that night. I told Sean and Jim that I wanted to drill something. Normally, when I make a cut, I always want to drill a ball, give myself something different, and I drilled a Storm Insight. Which everyone said that might be the only ball to ever win a PBA title ever. So, it's just one of those things to me. I look at the numbers, and I'm not a numbers guy by any means, but it just seems like a smooth ASIM, kind of like what the intensity was, gives me a fresher cover and, shorter pattern. I felt like it might be the right ball, and it ended up being the home run.
That's pretty amazing, because when I saw it, I assumed you were using a Revival, because it was kind of like dark and yellow. And then when you missed left, I definitely assumed you were using a Revival because it went like 100 feet. I was like, I think it was the one maybe in the 8th frame, I think it was.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit, that's a long way left. And then I was also like, oh God, it didn't hook at all. Did you leave the 248? I think it was
248. Yeah, threw it hard, missed it, never got it to the spot. And that's where I say, from 34 feet, it played like 40 feet. Especially with the urethane balls going down the lane, it stretched the pattern pretty quick. The caster's round, it seemed like there was 48, 49 guys bowling on 20 pairs. Every pair had one, if not two, urethane balls on it. So it didn't hurt my feelings, created hold. And like I've said before, as much as I hate urethane, I've done pretty good on television shows with people using it. So keep on throwing it. Keep giving me hold. And
well, I think there's two different. I think there's two different versions too. Instead of when they use it on the short, reactive can get really good at some point if you can get it to start up in front of it, and then it becomes hold. But from the middle lane, that's a different beast.
Correct.
When there's not something to the right to throw to.
Yeah.
So right now, I think it's going a little bit under the radar, but you're almost on as good a run on TV, or the TV shows, whatever we're going to call Chesapeake, as you were at the start of your career.
I am. Okay.
Well, I mean, it seems like you're winning almost every time you're on TV right now, especially on the shorter patterns.
Thanks for the black clouds, Stu.
I mean,
I've had a pretty good run. I think my last loss on television or flow bowling event was actually against Sterner here in my hometown in 2019. I won Wolf that week as well. I've lost a couple TSC shows, which I felt like I've kind of given away, but I've had like you said, I've had a good run. I'm going to take full advantage of every opportunity. I remember my very first show, one of the things Rick Benoit said, and even Chris said to me, was enjoy the moment, take advantage of the opportunity you're given, because you never know how many you're going to get. That could have been my last show this past weekend. Hopefully it's not, but you never know what the future holds. We've got a lot of talent coming up. There's still a few of us veterans out there, not many, but we'll give them a run for the money when we can.
All right. Well, let's pivot a little bit and have a little chat about balls. But before we do that, one of our sponsors is running a tournament coming up this weekend. So let's have a look at this. It's over at Lightning Strikes. So there we go.
There you go. This Saturday,
London.
noon check-in on the Dragon pattern. Lots of added money there for a local tournament. If you are in the Fort Myers area, that's a one to catch for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, with the Bulls coming out tomorrow, should we start with Zen Master or should we start with X2? What do you think, Chris?
We can start with either one. No, I've thrown a couple of them. I like both of them too. Which let's do Zen Master. We're gonna steal without any bad feelings about it from the global page. So here's you throwing it at the plant. I mean, this I guess is fairly meaningless. I just needed something to put up. What have you seen out of the Zen Master? Where are you seeing it fitting in your arsenal?
Yeah, it's strong, for symmetric piece, finding a way to get a ball to complement the original Zen. I think they've done a pretty good job of it. How hot the Zen was. With my roll, I actually haven't been able to throw it a whole lot because it's so strong. I'm trying to adapt to different things with, tilts and whatnot and ball speeds and new layouts again. Over the last month and a half, I've done a whole bunch of experimenting. So this particular one in this video is the only one I have currently. It just didn't match up on the summer tour either. So we weren't able to throw it a whole lot. I threw a lot of shiny balls, weak layouts, and real tall pins over the last couple of weeks. So, for the typical league bowler, though, they always say they want something that hooks. This hooks, and it hooks plenty. And as you can tell through all four different players in this video, it just doesn't stop right there, between the 35 to 40 foot motion. It tips over and continues. So everyone likes that. And then you have Daria here that just makes the three guys look pretty pathetic with her rev rate. So,
oh no, yeah. I'm not having you besmirch my boy Chad, the greatest ball review release of all time.
Pretty good.
I mean, my man can make anything peel off 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I don't know why Chad doesn't bowl a little bit more, but I'm kind of glad he doesn't.
I don't know whether it's because he's only a ball review release. That's all it is. I don't know whether he's got the confidence to do that for real. When you can't just erase the frame, it's kind of a high risk, high reward strategy that he bowls. Hello,
say hi. I knew we'd have a visitor at some point.
So, in your mind, I know you're saying you haven't thrown it very much. Where would you see it fitting off, like say a phase 2 or an axiom or that sort of ball?
Definitely stronger than both the phase 2 and the axiom. I probably could have used this ball this past weekend if I had a different layout just to get it to blend off the middle into the pattern. Definitely going to use it for the medium, the longer patterns to break something down and have something to throw at, which with my rev rate, I don't get to throw it away from me very often. So I have to wait for the lanes to really break down for me to be able to get to do it.
So, so for you, you're saying that really it's just like a complement to the reality. It's like a symmetrical version.
Correct. Yeah. I'll use a reality and a Zen Master to basically break the lane down game 1, game 2. And then depending on who I follow, if I'm following a bunch of the old geezers, then I can stay with it probably. But, if you're following the two-handers and whatnot, you better move in and move an arrow left to game 2, 3.
Rick Benoit has a nice compliment for you. He says, Sean is one of the most entertaining bowlers to stand behind in competition. Amazing talent with strong commitment. I think when he says strong commitment, he means that, like, you're committed to the decisions that you guys make.
Yeah, absolutely. Rick definitely put a lot into my career when I first started. We all have our ups and downs through relationships, through tour and whatnot with ball reps and players and management and whatnot. But he definitely helped me get my start. So staying with this guy up here in this top corner, I don't really want to give him a whole lot of compliments and whatnot, but he knows what he's done for me. His wife did more for me than he did with the positive talks and just the commitments and
slapping you around on TV.
Yeah.
No, Jeff, Sean isn't on fire. His shirt's just an awful yellow.
That's funny. I'll see Jeff. I'll be down in San Antonio. I'm going to bowl the the Dirty River singles there at the end of November.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Event.
Yeah, I'm sure your wife's going to be super thrilled that you're disappearing on Thanksgiving.
No, I'll leave the next day. I'll make sure I spend the day at home.
So you're not going to dig in and babysit? Well, I guess it's not really babysitting when it's your kids, but I mean, like, watch the kids while she goes out shopping.
Yeah, no, she's not a big fan of the Friday shopping. It doesn't. She'd rather do the internet, Amazon delivery.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, the Black Friday and the hot dog eating contest are the most American things. Let's go. I was gutted when I realized I was bowling July 4th and I couldn't watch Joey put a beating on him.
Oh, that's funny.
I love the hot dog.
There's two things I don't do much of: is Black Friday or the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah. And then you have the audacity to wear Captain America jerseys. I mean, please.
Yeah. What do you think America is? Because you watch too much media.
Zen or Zen Master? I'm on Team Zen.
Yeah, I haven't thrown the Zen Master to kind of go all over it and say this is the go-to ball right now. The Zen has just been, the number one ball for 7 or 8 months now. It seems like everyone on our staff between the 3 brands throws it, make sure they has 1 or 2 of them in it. But it's amazing how many good reactive bowling balls Storm, Roto, and 900 Global have.
Yeah.
Somebody says, what's your favorite global ball right now? Sounds like it might be the intensity the last month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much done its job. I've thrown it, 9 games at the Open Championships. Did pretty good.
Yeah, made you a couple of pennies.
It did okay. And then I've only thrown it a few games, actually, on the PBA Tour. I was really shocked that I was able to throw it this weekend. I didn't get to throw it the other 4 events. But right now, definitely that. The Revivals had a lot of play. The Zen and the good old trusty spare balls, those have been pretty good.
So tell me, because we haven't seen a lot of intensities around that, that's been behind the Zen and some of the other balls that have gotten much more play. What about that ball, suits your eye and what you want to see, and how are you using it to be successful? Let's say the championship is probably the most easy place to relate it to, because a lot more people are bowled on that pattern.
Yeah, no, I've got the intensity as just a smooth benchmark type bowling ball, nothing too fancy. It gives me a read on every pattern that I bowl on. So I say I haven't used it much, but I bring it out to see what the lane's doing, front to back and left to right. I always like to see the ball, smooth off the mid lane, and then I try to create hook to the right, but it's just one of those things. It's that benchmark ball, it's that favorite ball in the bag that I've got a lot of trust in, especially after the Open Championships and what it did. And it's, like I said, it's going to go down the lane for the next 6 or 7 months. The ball, I don't think, got a lot of love because it just came out at the wrong time. Peak of COVID, not a lot going on. Pro shops are closed, bowling centers are closed. So, a lot of balls got lost through COVID. That one, the Revivals got a little bit more play than that, but I think if this ball would be remade and came out with bowling centers being open again, you'd see a lot more love for it. So
do you use the Rubicon at all, the original Rubicon?
I don't. I actually drilled that and the Insight Saturday night for Sunday's final round, wanting a bigger ASIM if the intensity and the Insight didn't work and if the lanes got stretched too much with the urethane. But
I'd be surprised if you don't like it. I would think you'd really like it, Rubicon.
Just haven't had any success with it yet.
I would think that, for me, the Rubicon, the Insight, and the intensity are kind of all
in the same family. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, the Rubicon's just too strong for me.
Yeah, like the only issue that I had with the intensity was that I felt like it was a little too much surface for the cover not being quite as strong. So I don't know if you've taken the surface up on yours at all, or the lane shined or whatever.
Just lane shine, yeah.
Yeah.
Where does it fit from Zen? Zen and reality, intensity. Where do those kind of fit in line for you?
So reality is going to be the strongest for me. Like that would be my first. Intensity would be second, and Zen on the bottom. Ball
so
order.
It hooks sooner. Does it hook more, or does it hook sooner?
It hooks sooner, yeah. It definitely blends the lane out more than everything else. So I would use the Zen as more of a skid flippy ball, even though it kind of is rolly. I mean, from what we've seen, but with the pearl cover stock, you can jump in and circle a little bit more than you can the intensity.
And it's been a tough summer tour. I mean, with those 3 weeks there in the middle, we didn't get to play a whole lot of ball reaction, and then you bowl in the short. So again, you're really minimizing ball reaction way more than you're trying to shape it.
Yeah, we bowled 2 or 3 events in a row where you're basically just trying to hit the 1-3 and make spares, and if you threw a double, nice bowling.
Right.
Jason's just asking for a layout on your intensity. Have you got that laid out?
I have zero clue. I can tell you if you go to my Facebook page and look at the picture of it, you can get a pretty good guess. It's probably right around 5 inches from my PAP. 55-degree mass, 30 something.
Pin up, pin down, just a general.
Yeah, just pin up. The mass is just outside my thumb.
Okay. So nothing exotic with the layout.
Nothing.
Emmanuel says, besides changing ball companies, is there anything you've done to energize your game, enabling you to do so great recently?
I think it's more of the fact that started working out over the last 5 years, ever since 2016 when I won a couple times in Detroit, just being committed to, losing some weight or having my legs back under me. I take a lot of downtime now to be with the kids as I watch my middle one sit here and play with a bowling set over here. But just trying to stay healthy. It's really hard to do with all the injuries I've had. My hand froze up right before the championship matches this past Sunday, and that's just from injuries. You probably can't see it, but I went and got cupping done on my hand the other day just to help get some blood flow, chiropractic work, massage work. At 39 now, and I know Chris is over the 50 mark, but it's hard to keep up with this new group. I think it's a lot different than the group that when I came out. It was me and Bill and Fagan and Rhino and a couple others. This next group is 5 or 6 more deeper than that group came out than when I came out 15 years ago. So, and there's been some misses there. So,
it's happy anniversary.
10 years today.
How many?
10.
10 today.
Lucky number 10. No, I throw everything. I've been able to throw all 3 brands. I really like the X2 actually.
It appears we're supposed to have another guest on later today.
Who's that?
1 Hall of Famer plus 2 future Hall of Famers. I'll take that every week. For those that didn't know, that was a shot of Sean at the 2007 Masters in Milwaukee. His second title.
4th title.
That was your 4th one?
Yep.
Holy cow. Man, you did win a lot there in a really short span.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google 2007 Masters on YouTube. Like, put it in the search engine. You can see Sean hitting the shit out of it.
Yeah,
my
low rev rate, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Oh, God. Linda's playing Cupid again.
Oh,
Anyway, let's move it on quickly. We've got the X2. A few shots I threw with it yesterday. What are you seeing out of the X2, Sean?
Yeah, so I've drilled both the X1 and the X2. This X2 is that ball that I really like. This is something I thought I'd be able to throw on a short pattern. The skid flippy type reaction, throw it at it, let it bounce. This thing is super clean for me compared to the X1. A lot cleaner than a Honey Badger Revival, if you want to talk about another brand and whatnot. So, for me, I have to have something to throw it at. There just has to be friction. There has to be some friction in the front part of the lane too, so I can get it to start up. Otherwise, with my ball speed, I can just throw right through it.
Yeah, for me, I was quite impressed. I feel like this one is more continuous than the UC2. I think they're in sort of the same ballpark. There we go. But I would say that the UC2 for me, like I say, it's kind of it's sharper, but then it's more forward. So if I want to use that sharpness, so to speak, I've got to kind of adapt my release to make it continue. Whereas with the X2, I don't think it's quite as sharp off the spot as the UC2, but I do think that it continues a little bit better. With it being a little higher RG and everything, it seems to come around the corner a little bit more consistently.
And I would agree. And normally, Stu and I don't always see balls quite the same, but the UC2 cover seems to be maybe a touch cleaner, but the core wise, it does stand up and get forward a little quicker. Whereas the X1 and 2 core seems to round off that shape and have a little longer window from that.
Yeah, I would see that too. I would see the UC2 sooner, just because of like you said, the core inside of it. Again, I'm not a numbers guy, but just both of them are pretty similar in layouts. I would throw the UC2 first and then go to the X2 because I need that ball to start up.
I think this is a shot, but I've got thick skin. Stu is great in ball reviews, aren't we all? It's really cool. You go Control B, Control B, Control B.
Yes.
For everybody who edits a video, they'll understand.
Alan,
thanks, bro.
Good looking out. Have to ask, are you and Belmo buddies now?
No. Okay. Next question.
He says, I said,
for a friend.
Good morning, guys. Between Sean and CB, who do you think will get to 20 titles first?
Well, odds are in your favor, but it depends on. I don't know.
If I get to count all of them, I got there a month ago.
Oh, stop.
Well, I mean, if we're going to count 8 games regional titles, then
you're sounding bitter.
I beat Bob Warren and Pete Weber for a title. How's that?
I mean, the thing is to me, I mean, I feel like the odds are in Sean's favor.
I do. I think you'd have to. How many shows you made this in the last 2 years?
I made 3 this year. I think I had 4 or 5 last year.
Yeah. So basically, out of a possible
28.
Yeah, 30. I was going to say less than 30 opportunities. You're making 25% of the shows right now, and that's right on pace with some of the, at an all-time level when you make them at that level.
Also, Sean has the distinct advantage that he seems to be the only player on tour who can throw reactive on the short patterns. That seems to be a pretty big advantage right now.
Yeah, maybe I should practice that thing. Maybe not.
Steve says, do you still use the Flux? I bought one on the strength of seeing you two. Quite a unique ball reaction.
I still have one. I need to drill another one. I've got a couple blanks. Talk about a really good ASIM, medium type bowling ball. That's where the intensity reminds me a lot of the Flux, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's a cover that's kind of based off of the bat. I mean, it's really a solid Badger cover, just with a bigger core in it. And on the 15 side, I think it's a nice step off of the people that like the Badger should really like the Flux.
Yeah, agreed.
Kyle says, great point about React. Never seen a more dominant player on Wolf. Yeah, he's like Jasper on Chameleon. They changed the distance. It's a completely different pattern. Doesn't matter. That was the greatest one about Jasper. They put up a statistic one year at the World Series that Jasper's average on Chameleon was 242 after like 3 iterations of the World Series. Then the next year, Chameleon was 45 feet. And they were like talking about it as if it had some relevance to the fact that he averaged that. And then the asshole averaged 250. He goes, and then he just laughed at me and he goes, see, it's Chameleon. They should tell me every pattern's Chameleon.
Yeah. I've had a pretty good run on the short patterns since about 2018, I would say. So I don't mind.
Like Malott on the Scorpion pattern. Yeah. Rash and Wolf. Because you've won Wolf 3 times now, I think.
3 times, and one of them a combination. Wolf was on the one side too, so 3.5.
Yeah, that's pretty good considering in that time we probably only played on Wolf 4 times. So
it's a pretty good handle.
Yeah, probably.
People said to me, he goes, what's Wolf like this year? I go, don't know. I haven't played on it. They go, no, you must have done. I go, we've got 33 patterns.
Yeah.
And I'm just picking a number out of midair, but it could easily be 33 patterns. And we've got like 9 tournaments. So
I actually can tell you how many patterns we got because I was
and yet we still bowl in the same pattern about 5 times a year.
Yeah.
We keep picking the same one for a few tournaments. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the region's really fun when you dot around and you end up playing on the same pattern, and then you realize kind of how pointless it is to have pattern names.
So here's this is how many patterns we got. We have Anthony at 43, Albie 39, Ballard 35, Bear 41, Carter 39, Chameleon 39, Cheetah 35, Dragon 45, Hardwick 44, Holman 38, Johnson 40, Petraglia 46, Roth 42, Salvino 44, Scorpion 42, Shark 48, Viper 36, Webb 38, Weber 45, and Wolf 34. So we have 22 or 23 patterns.
Yeah, we bowl on.
It's about every other year. So
yeah. And then the thing that was really funny was we bowled on both regionals in that swing. Were on, I believe they're both on Don Johnson. Well, to give you an idea of what it's like, we were on the Don Johnson over at Minster. On the right side, basically nobody threw urethane, give or take the odd person throwing it straight. They certainly weren't hooking it. When they played it in Virginia, Richie Teese comfortably qualified wheeling his ice storm. So
you wonder.
Just don't get too wrapped up in the whole thing, the whole pattern thing. Like, there's so many variables, the main being lane surface. But, like, you know, you've got if they put terrain oil out, or if they put ice oil out, or if they use the Brunswick machine, or if we bowl on wood, or if we bowl on Brunswick synthetic, or this week they've gone back to the US Open and now they've got another lane. They've got a Murray lane surface. I don't think I've ever bowled on that. But that's been like,
it's a lot like a Head one, if I remember right.
Yeah, they hook.
Yeah.
If I'm not
It
mistaken.
wasn't around that long.
But no, this is brand new.
Oh, it's brand new. They brought it back.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They've got brand new lanes for the US Open. So, yeah, it's just, yeah.
You just can't get that wrapped up. The volume, the distance, there's some things. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. But in the end, it's still, you still just got to throw shots in.
Knowing the building's way more important.
And like, some places it doesn't hook off the gutter.
Like Mike Miller told us the pattern this week in New Mexico, he was shocked it was as hard as it is. And Mike's a pretty smart guy and he's in that building all the time. The pattern was 3-1, but the way he shaped the reverse and the forward together just made him impossible for a lot of the people.
Yeah.
So
one of the games, we'll skip over the tie. I just do that to wind people up. Things are what they are from that side. But Sean is amazingly more versatile than people know, and that part is true, that he won a lot hooking it and can still hook it a lot. Like all of us, he will play to his strengths and what separates him from the field when possible. And that's why some people throw urethane a lot, because that's what separates them more than that's maybe their best or only talent. But hasn't always been in the right situation, or he'd already have that many titles. And I agree with that too. He had a great start, won a bunch early, got worked around for a while, and then coming from a place of experience, the losing kind of piled up on TV, and then that got in its own way for a little bit. Got past that, now on the other side of it, and now back on another run. He's playing free and playing, he's back to being who he is, and he's aggressive and
with a chip on my shoulder has helped.
What?
Bowling with a chip on my shoulder has helped over the last couple of years.
When you first came out on tour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a matter of time with everything that's going on. So she wants to play music now.
Are we gonna have karaoke?
Yeah.
Beef and Barnzy karaoke hour?
Okay, go. She's looking for everything to play with. So no, it's just one of those things. Like you said, when I first came out, I just bowled to have fun. Got in that 4-year stretch of not doing very well, of trying to put on a show instead of focusing on the process. I was focusing on the outcome. That hurt quite a bit. And then the middle of my career was, starting a family and moving all over the place and whatnot. Okay, no more. It's too loud. You're going to hurt Chris's ears, his old ears.
No, Chris can't hear.
No.
But and then the last couple of years, like I said, it's been good just to kind of bowl with that chip on the shoulder and work hard and prove people wrong that I'm still relevant. That's what I was kind of told I was 4 or 5 years ago. I was not relevant anymore, and my time was up, and I was washed out. Go get some Legos.
Man, you've got some you've got some ears that are hearing a lot of things that nobody else is hearing. You've got the superstar thing going on. You got the Michael Jordan. You said what, boy?
Yes. Nobody respected us. It was against the world.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you sound like Tom Brady. You're old. You're washed up. You can't throw it anymore.
He's done okay, I would say.
Yeah, he's done pretty okay since they said he was over the hill.
Expectations and sometimes self-expectations may be detrimental to success anywhere sometimes. It just gets in your own way. But,
for sure.
Jeremy's requesting 3 blind mice from the recorder.
No more.
I want to do it.
3 blind mice from the recorder. I don't even know if I could do that, or she could do that.
Leon says he bowled next to you in qualifying in Chesapeake. He said he learned quite a bit from you using reactive in the Urethane Fest. I mean, he said you were a class act. Man, man, you must have been bowling good.
Leon, talk about a class act is Leon. This gentleman works in the medical field and was telling me some stuff that's going on, and God bless him for what he does and what he's going through. And everything else.
Well, it sounds like you might need to go and play doctor. You might need to go and play dad.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. I'll be right.
Okay.
People will have control. I'm telling you.
So yeah. Somebody asked what we're bowling. He said, "Where are we bowling?" There's a simple answer: Texas, Tejas. That's where everybody's bowling.
This weekend is the Ironman. There's a couple things going on Friday night. A butterfly collection meeting, and then a sweeper on Friday night at the Ironman, and that will be in Rowlett. Tyson also has his Friday Phonetics finale. So everyone who qualified gets to bowl in that with quite a bit of added money. So I'll be there on Friday night, seeing if I can be a good league bowler for one more time and make enough to pay a few bills.
Cliff Barnes says, "Bring her and the recorder to the next stop for match play."
Well,
I told you guys that we'd have a guest.
2020 Sean can handle that. 2012 or 13 maybe.
10, yeah, 2010, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, that Piccolo lives would not have mattered much.
No, not at all. But look, I mean, you have 2 kids, and Stu, you got 1. You know what it's about. These are moments that you live for, and you love being around. And they don't know yet, or she doesn't at least. So.
Somebody said so. Yeah. So then the weekend after, I have Longview doubles. Chris is popping over to California to make a deposit. The cadre from the USBC's bank account. Now he's got his
U.S. Open, and on the senior side is a PBA event.
Oh, it's a PBA event. Oh, that's disappointing.
And then the Masters. It's such a weird thing, and I don't even know. It's just a California thing or what? But there's 70 entries for the Senior U.S. Open, and there's 240 entries for the Masters.
Makes sense.
Yeah, let's go with that. I just don't have any idea what or why, and I'd be interested to hear because that's why it got canceled to begin with. And then you can say, okay, well, the real summer tour, it's 500 a tournament, give or take, and you just bowled a bunch, a lot of expenses. and it's not going to fill, so you're going to wait a little bit to
That's not my kid.
Too bad my son doesn't know I'm calling. I'm on, we might be doing something at 10:30 on a Tuesday or Thursday.
Weird. Maybe he knows.
Yeah, he'll probably be on here in a second.
But yeah, he'll ask you the question in the chat.
Yeah, just throw it in there. Yeah. Am I sponsoring you this? Yes, I am sponsoring this weekend. But
yeah,
like there was only like 40 or 50 entries, and so Suncoast canceled the event and didn't want to go forward with it. So Brentwood was already in the schedule, and they basically agreed to take on U.S. Open, and so that at least the two terms are back to back, even if they're not particularly close. And I don't really understand the mentality, and there's obviously more money in those events. And we bowl in Florida. Maybe everything just needs to move to Florida for the senior things, for the majors. So that's a solid call.
Lawrence says this may be the birth control episode.
Having kids, I tell you what, you make it rain. It just doesn't go where it used to go.
Yeah.
So Regina says Ryan is obviously calling for a deposit, more money in his account.
Yeah, better call his mom.
I was hoping the sweeper went well last night, and he was going to put some in. That's kind of what I was going with.
So, Chris, you had your trip up to Utah. We talked to you on Tuesday while you were up there. Mm-hmm. What was achieved? Do you have a arsenal going forward? Are you confident in your process now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they're doing some really cool things, and it's going to come out here fairly, I think, in the next month or so, where they're going to kind of roll out some of this stuff, and then, in some parts, I'm doing some field testing with that. But it's pretty cool to be around the guys who are actually the smartest guys in the room, and there's three of them there with Steve Klemkin, who we talked to on the show, Alex Hoskins, who's doing tons of research and testing, and he's come up with some factors that I think are going to change the way a lot of us look at ball layouts and some of the things that we think matter or have been told don't matter, that in fact have way more influence than we thought. Obviously, the dynamics of cores these days it's a pretty complicated subject, so to boil it down and simply, but they did a fairly good job. Even I could understand most of what they were trying to say. And so we did fill in some gaps. It made some things make sense of why the direction I went based off of old assumptions was wrong. And I actually made my problems worse and just exacerbated them instead of improving the situation. I was making balls do the opposite of what I thought I was. It was very interesting. It was very enlightening. Got a lot of games in, and as usual, the technology with Specto and everything else is down there. It's a pretty cool deal. And so I'm excited moving forward. Brought three of them back here with me, sent the rest to the U.S. Open and the Masters. And so I'll get to field test a little bit of it this weekend for the Ironman and see how it goes. Mr. Eddie, how are you?
So yeah, we were laughing on Tuesday when he was going through all of this, Sean. I was like, yeah, it's all great. You're all pumped up. You've been and seen Baker. You fixed your physical game. Now you got your equipment sorted. 178 first game at Ironman. Fuck!
Yeah. I'll be out of excuses here soon. There's the physical thing. I know what I need to work on. It's not exactly where I'd like it to be. So
did you take your thumb out of it?
Yeah. Well, if I could do it with any amount of repetition, that would have already happened a long time ago.
San Antonio resident is looking forward to seeing you at the tournament in November. Sean will be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Looking forward to coming down.
Craig says here's crack research team here. 31 of the 73 entries are from California, residents in Brentwood. Yeah, because they don't have to pay for a hotel room in Brentford. I think that's having a significant effect. I spoke to Steve Smith, who said that he lives in San Diego and he's not going because of the costs are just prohibitive. So,
and some of the same thing ran to the PBA Summer Tour, and it's not the PBA's fault. It's just expenses right now are considerably more than the entry fees are. Because no one can drive. I mean, very few people can afford to live close to Brentwood, for one. And then, so now you either have to be within a drive, because cars are $100 a day. Food, hotels are more than $100 a day there. And there's not a lot of hotels close to, say, Brentwood, at least.
I was talking to
it's tough right now.
Someone about the expenses. I had $4,500 in expenses before food, miscellaneous, and my RV expenses for the summer tour. So
you and your dad, the Griswolds.
Oh my God, we had a good 2.5 week stretch there. But I mean, Virginia alone was $1,400 with a flight, car, hotel, and didn't even bowl yet.
Cliff Barnes says, I hear some of the tents on the sidewalk are affordable. I say the same thing about Austin. Like, people talk about, oh, my house, I bought a house for $150,000. I'm like, Christ, you couldn't even get a spot under the freeway for $150,000 in Austin.
No, I mean, everything's going up. I mean, prices are going up across the country and just about everything we talk about in our sport. And it's just the way life is. So hopefully we can find some.
Your boy Ogle says, hey, any of your kids want a job, or is that even a thing anymore? I need help in the lawn care business.
2/3 of the Shawnee doubles team title. So
it's fine with me. I'll take the other third.
Yeah, they all count as full when you add them up.
They do.
I never had a good enough partner to win a doubles title.
Brian McDonough says, I hear OJ has an Airbnb in the Brentwood area available.
Cool. Nice.
It's still not affordable.
After this episode, does Belmo bring a recorder to the next TV match? Hashtag too soon.
You'd have to be able to get out of Australia to get to a TV show right now.
Yeah.
That might be the thing that stops Belmo winning any more PBA tournaments. Australia never let anybody leave. Cooley's going to live here soon because he can't go back.
Yeah, the kid Caleb that came over and bowled, his story is pretty remarkable. So he lives in Perth, has to fly into Melbourne, quarantine for 2 weeks in Melbourne, and then when he flies to Perth, has to quarantine for another 2 weeks. Something about the state borders and everything. So God bless him for knowing that he has to spend a month in a hotel.
Yeah, actually, Damien, the problem is that prices are going up because everybody's getting free money, so nobody will work. So now you have to pay everybody $5 more an hour, and the cost of everything are going up, and so it all follows. We have huge inflation issues coming our way here soon. So,
agreed.
Yes, we all know we need airline, hotel, and rental car. And if it was easy, it would have happened a long time ago. Why do they need to sponsor us? In the big scheme of things, it's important to us, but we're still 50 hotel rooms, for an event. Going back to Kisro's comment, there was 31 people in Brentwood that bowled. And the problem is there was 140 people when we bowled in Orlando.
Yeah, and probably 100 of those live in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, they're just massive. There was 180 in the tournament. I would say 100, probably 100 of them were within an hour of the event. It was there's just a massive population of bowlers over 50 down there.
It's almost getting to the point where you need to hold the whole tour just in Florida and be done with it.
We're not far off, to be honest. Until we can go back to the Northeast, and know ahead of time. Kind of going back to the other comment earlier, why we didn't have a fall league. Well, we didn't. Nobody knew when you were going to have TV dates, and so you couldn't really plan in the back half of the year. They ran what they could run, piled it in, put together a little summer tour to try and appease things, but expenses made that summer tour not really a great deal for guys that weren't Sean and Darren and Anthony.
So send me a message, Del. I'll answer you.
Okay. Let's see. Being centrally located in the West. Yeah, Craig is all about it. It's just tough, and it's a problem that's moving forward. It's not going to, it's going to be a little trouble till things settle down and we get expenses back in. There's a lot of places that were closed for a while too. They were trying to recoup some, for a bad year as well. So, supply and demand, and as long as there's demand, prices are going to stay high.
Okay, Sean. We got a little bit of fun for you to finish the show off.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it. So me and Chris had our Zen Master challenge in cold water. It's on YouTube right now. You can watch the whole game, but I've clipped some of the shots. So I was thinking that you could maybe like critique where we were going wrong with this. Bearing in mind we're in cold water. So,
Okay. Give me 1 second before you put it up.
Okay. We're not going to talk about the pattern. It's going to remain a mystery. Several people have told me that it was very easy while we weren't shooting 200.
Tells us more about what they think about us.
Yeah. Apparently, when we hooked at an 8-pin, that showed that the lanes were way too easy. Way too easy. My man says way too easy. Let's check. Damn it. I forgot. I've got to figure out how to share that. Because when you do that, you can't watch it at the same time. There we go. So so this is how the match started off. Feeling pretty good. Told Chris he needs to be quiet.
We threw in a few shots right now. I didn't expect a strike out of the gate. I got to be honest. This is a lot of what my practice looked like.
It's a lot of what your summer tour looked like.
Maybe too soon, but not wrong. That is basically how the whole thing looked like right there. Through the face, flat 10.
I feel like this was the chance of one of us going big, going away straight away when I didn't get the early double.
Yeah, it would have been much less eventful if you'd have doubled early, I think. But yeah,
I was pretty confident at that point.
Yeah,
you beat it out of me.
Weird. All right.
So you're bowling on a house pattern, right?
We're not on whatever they put down.
It wasn't. Yeah, I don't think it was the house pattern. All right. Well, God, I hope not. Poor people there.
To be honest, we practiced on this and then we moved over to 13 and 14, which had bear on it, and they seemed significantly easier. Look at that one. There we go. Hung me out to dry right there.
He was running it out for the 2-pin.
I think we're good here. We're good here. Ah, lucky.
5 spares to start. Or did you strike?
No, I have no.
That lane 15's a treat.
Face, flat 10, stone 8. Yeah, I am feeling like I'm probably going to run away with this in the second half.
This is where it goes. This is where I got a hair left after the 2-pin. Big 4. I'm pretty sure that if I bowled on this as a house shot, I could enter the standard division at Nationals. Oh, look at Barnzy with a double.
Those best 2 shots I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Where you had to throw him on this lane, it was pretty
nervous.
There, here we go. Strike. Yes. I mean, seriously.
He's been cold-watered.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. So, Sean, you'll love this. If you go back and watch the video, I get in Chris's head before this one.
I needed a mark to shut him out.
And he
This
doubles.
one was good.
And
nope. Wrong one. Yeah, I told Chris when he got up in the 10th frame, I go, pretend it's a Sunday in 2006.
He had a nice little run there in 4, 5, 6.
It was more like 1 and 2, really. If he was going to really cut to it, but
yeah,
it didn't matter. It was close. I mean,
everybody understood the reference.
Yes, it was plenty funny as it was. To be fair, I don't think anyone thought Chris was going to lose to Stu.
Well, it's funny. I'm gonna have a chance this afternoon. We've got our taping almost all done for the bracket challenge. Chris has 1 match left, and then we've got the showdown between us. I think we might do a PBA best of 2, the world's shittest format. beat the guy. Jesper didn't lose and was out on a roll-off. Have you ever heard so much horse shit in your entire life? Cooley, he beat Cooley the first game. He then tied with him the second game. Clearly, he's won. No, we have a roll-off to determine that he lost that game to then go to another roll-off. God, I'd have been fucking fried. The guy didn't even fucking beat me and I'm out and he's through. What? Like, I hate that.
Oh, man.
Here's our man. Hey, I'm not saying it out loud. I'm not reading that.
I do not know him.
Oh, dear. So, like I say, I feel like I'm coming in. I'm coming in hot. I'm going to Chris's crypt tonight. So I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
All right. Well, good luck.
We're going to film the final in where'd you bowl, Chris? Louisville, yes.
You might want to have Ryan bowl then, or even Troy.
Oof.
Don't hold back, Stu. I'm not holding back. And the other thing is Coley's like, you didn't make the playoffs. I don't care what your opinion is, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, you welcome to Team Never Wrong. And we don't even agree with each other. Neither one of us are wrong. So
yeah, I mean, I care about as much as she cares about my feelings. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so we're finally going to get that completed. I'm sorry that I'm such a terrible human being for not getting it done sooner. You know, we had a career to get on with, and I didn't plan it very well. And there wasn't exactly a bunch of places that I felt would have give a fair comparison of the balls. Like, I'm not sure I'd have got a lot of. It might have been a little rough doing it in Minster and Coldwater for a comparison purposes.
Yeah.
Minster would have been tough. Coldwater. Oof.
Yeah, the other thing about the Minster was if we'd have done it in Minster, the videos would have been about 45 minutes long because the racks were so slow.
Oh, my God. I'd seen A1s on creeper speed before. I'd never seen them. I don't know if I'd ever seen them that slow.
It was, yeah.
It was so slow, they made a warning before practice.
And people still
are slow. Don't throw the ball early. You will hit the rack. Inside of the first 35 seconds, 2 balls hit the rake because guys didn't wait long enough.
It said, what would you rather have for the matches? 2-game total pinfall. I'd rather we played best of 5-frame games. If we're talking about the playoffs, because I think it would be more chances for there to be a real outcome, but there be shots that matter all the time. Whereas I feel like the 2-game total with the roll-offs is kind of a forced way to get a roll-off where a lot of the shots still didn't matter.
Yeah, makes sense.
No,
that format's been brought up. I don't know when it'll ever be used, but
yeah, I feel like for the playoffs, it's the perfect one to do it in because the playoffs is like the kind of the showcase event, and you want something that's going to have it so it comes down to one shot at a time, and it's not in the same way. It's not like a regular TV show where you've bowled all week or all day, whatever, to get there. It's like you're kind of just showing up to play it, and I think that would be a better use of it. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I understand from a timing point of view, it works perfectly because you're going to bowl 2 games and the roll-off doesn't really add that much time to it. So you kind of guaranteed 2 games, where if you do best of 3, it's a nightmare. And if you do 2-game total, it might be over inside, 8 frames. So I kind of get it. I just, don't like it.
Fair enough.
And Rick has explained this to me a little bit. I don't recall all the details, so he would put it in the comments. But this is an interesting format when he explained it to us, and maybe it's something we can see used in some other tournaments. along the way. We get a feel for how it would work out and how it could fit inside the time parameters of something like that, like a TV show. But it is something I think that can be used in some amateur tournaments, and I'm sure he'll put it in the comments for us here in a minute. So.
Yeah, poor Jacob. He did the right thing, but Jacob had a bit of a, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one that fell that week. I don't know if you guys heard about my fall, but there was a couple that week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only difference was when Jacob fell down, he then didn't make every cut and win the third tournament. He kind of fucked himself up pretty good. Like,
okay, I'll give you that one.
He was,
and he kept bowling the rest of that day.
Yeah. He was. This is that. He didn't leave.
Oh, I left. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. No, I bowled on that pair before you did. I know what you mean.
I don't know how you stood up.
I almost fell down, and then after asking them to stop using the easy slide, but yeah, I mean, Jacobs was completely different. He took the high road, made a post, so I stepped on a water bottle, which is not what happened. What happened was the AC leaked on the approach, and he hit it and went.
And it's not like Jacob's feet aren't moving very fast either. And it isn't like he doesn't slide. Him and Mika should have a slide off.
Yeah.
The longest slides in history. The only difference was at least Mika was close to stopping when he let go of it. Jacob still got half his slide left when he lets go of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the funniest things I came up with. Is I'd said it one year at the Weber Cup. I go, Jacob and Jesper released the ball at the same spot. The only difference is Jesper stops. So he's like 2 feet from the foul line, and Jacob almost fouls.
Yeah, everybody goes, Jesper's so far behind the foul line. I mean, you watch like Holman back in the day that I saw some YouTube thing, and they showed his ball was off his hand 3 feet behind the foul line. He just kept sliding. And Jacob's the same way. Yeah. Cliff Barnes has a translator working today. Stu translator. I will sum up for Stu. I get it. It's just fucking stupid.
Very much. But basically, the put-up or shut-up's best of 7, 9th, and 10th frame roll-off. So it's kind of the same thing I was talking about, but like an even shorter version.
Yeah, and I liked, and we've talked about on here before, a shortened version of that, where maybe you can do it like in a tennis format, where you play a set, and maybe it's best set, 2 out of 3 like that, in 9th and 10th, and then it's bang, 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 bang. Every shot literally has an outcome tied to it. There's no. Obviously, it does in a full game too, but there's lots of times where, the 2, 3, 4 frames in the middle are very low intensity comparative to the end.
I just would like to see these formats used in things where we're not bowling for such big prize funds. Do it. The special events are fine, but the 100,000 first place prize or 200,000, you just can't do it in those. But or the playoffs, which is such an important event now for all of us, even though it's a short format, but there's a lot of money involved, Yeah,
but it's chicken and the egg, though, isn't it? If we did this format and there wasn't very much money on the line, then the players wouldn't necessarily, it wouldn't have the same
meaning
tension. Well, and then the people watching it aren't going to care as much either.
It just has to be long enough. And that's where I get to the tennis part. So you could bowl a lot of these 9th and 10th frames. And so the total number of games ends up being, maybe it's 5 games, but there's enough excitement going on while that whole thing's going on that it doesn't feel like, wow, we bowled all these games and nothing's happening until the very end.
Correct.
Which is, what happens. And that's the downside of the qualifying and some of the other things we do is it's really long with a very small intensity for a cut or something that has, low impact, I guess is what I'm saying. So, yeah.
I love the match play formats, best of 5, best of 7, because there's always a winner real quick. Each game matters. If you're bowling like crap one game, you can try to figure out the next game to try to survive. And does it suck if you're the number 1 seed and you lose? But it gives everyone that fair chance, to a certain degree. And I like this new Eliminator format over the last weekend where it has the bonuses too, where if you're bowling good, you can have a bad game and not get penalized for it, and you still stay towards the top for a long time.
Yeah. It's still very short. It's still less than 16 games.
Yeah, it's too short. I agree, but what do you do?
You can only win the formats that they give you. So I'm not taking away from it. As much as I like to throw shade at all of it, it's still very hard to win. And in my opinion, it's even harder to win less games, not easier. Especially as a top player. I think, the fewer games you bowl, the more people have a chance. And that's why amateur formats typically are very short. I just hate to see amateur formats in professional environments.
Agreed.
So.
Okay, well, we've managed to get over the hour. We've had a live performance from Sean's daughter mid-show.
Bet you haven't had that before.
Piccolo's lives matter. So,
yeah, we've been through a few of the tournaments. We've had a little bit of a look at some other stuff. So, with that, I think we can call it a day, Chris.
Sounds good. Anybody you'd like to thank, Sean?
Just to thank you guys, for continuing to do this show. All of your sponsors that help you make this possible, and it's pretty impressive that you guys have continued to do this and work your tails off and even let me on this show eventually.
Eventually, you've been on at least a couple of times.
And you've turned us down at least 4 more. So let's see.
I have. Yeah, my family comes first sometimes. I'm sorry.
It wasn't family.
Yeah, let's call a spade here.
You didn't quite troop us and just not show up. You just told us you were busy with more important things to do.
Did you hear about the Troop one?
Look, Troop's busy guy right now, okay?
No. This is great. Barnes called him live on the show on speakerphone. Hey, bro, where are you? Oh, man, I screwed up. I'm nowhere near home. I'm asleep, bro. Oh, well, you're on the show. Seriously?
Good old Kyle. He sure has come a long way, though.
Good for him. He's, it might have been interesting if Doherty had won. He might have swung some votes. I think Kyle was still going to win Player of the Year either way. But
I think Kyle had it wrapped up once he got that All-American vote.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the captain of the All-American team.
Yeah.
I mean, Doherty didn't even make the squad.
Say you're owned by USDC without saying you're owned by USDC. Oh, who skipped? Oh, yeah, that was Doherty. Got it.
Yeah, had to throw Belmo on the first team and skip Doherty. That was a pretty good shun.
They had to skip a few people to get Doherty off the first team. So,
maybe basically, the only 2 people who were definitely there's only really one person who was definitely ahead of him. And then you could have put Frankie ahead of him. And then the other people on the team, they shouldn't have put ahead of him.
On the first team?
Yeah. Inside of that, July 1.
Yeah.
By maybe you could make an argument. There's no argument for
Belmo or Thomas Larson.
No. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Thomas Larson played well in the Weber Cup.
You what?
I said Thomas Larson did bowl well in the Weber Cup. Doherty didn't get to bowl in the Weber Cup. So, I mean, that obviously favored in heavily.
Yeah. Well, but that was Thomas Larson's home lanes. It was in his home continent.
Home continent, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that matters, evidently.
Yeah. That's funny. No, just like I said, I want to just thank you guys, all of your sponsors, my sponsors too. It's amazing what we've been able to do over the last couple of years with what we've been given. And you got to look at some of the positives. We're still on TV. We're still bowling some stuff. There's some things we criticize and critique, but hopefully soon in 2022 we'll be back on the lanes and we'll have some information about what we're going to bowl sooner than later.
Yeah, reel them off, Sean. Who's you guys right now?
Let's do it. First of all, 900 Global. Got to thank Wes Pye and Matt Kabansky and Mr. Chrisman for believing in me. Mr. Tony Stewart, just an unbelievable person. A lot of people don't know him, but man, I've got to know him quite a bit. I get to talk to him regularly, and now his fiance Leah too. Just watching, getting into NASCAR a little bit and NHRA. Just signed a new deal with Boron, using some Arnicare products to help the body, and looking forward to making that bigger and better, hopefully in 22 as well. High Five Gear, Vice, Genesis, Bowling Monkey. And,
that's the one, Bowling Monkey.
And Donna Connors. she's not an official sponsor, but what she does for me on and off the lanes, and for our sport is pretty impressive.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely trying to lead the Sean Rash life, aren't we, Chris? We're trying to collect those sponsors.
There you go.
Hey, a couple more would be all right. I got plenty of room.
No problem there. Well, with that, thanks, Sean, for joining us. Finally, blessing us with your presence. Good luck on your journey past 20, and hope that you catch TJ.
Well, we know you won't, so.
Well, you guys still got a few majors to go to catch me. Just saying. Anyway, so hey, support those small businesses, those bowling centers out there. Bowling business seems to be thriving and healthy. Looking forward to starting off the fall season. When you get a chance, support those sponsors that support us: Storm, Rotogrip, Manor Global, Vice, Coolway, 3G Shoes, Bowler's Mark, Mark Baker Bowling, Fire Lake Bowling Center, Platinum Ford, and Lightning Strikes. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.
See you later.